Hello, class. The first theory that we're going to be looking at in some detail is the idea of dehumanization. For each of these theories, what I'm going to ask you to do is to take a gallery walk, so to speak. I have exhibits on each of the theories. And what these amount to are a variety of documents of one kind or another. Some of it is text, some of it is images, some of it's video materials. Each of these gives you a different approach to the particular theory that we're reviewing at that time. And from these various expressions of this, I want each of you then to develop your own sense, your own ideas, your own definition of what this is. The assignment's written out for you, but contact me if you're having trouble understanding it. Dehumanization is an idea that apparently enters into Western thought in the early 19th century. I believe it probably is related to industrialization, to the idea that some people are losing seemingly human qualities because of the impersonality of industrialization. I'm not sure about that, but it really comes close to what we're interested in the work of this man, Frederick Douglass. I have some quotes from his narrative of Frederick Douglass, and it talks about his life as a slave in Maryland in the early 19th century. Ultimately, Douglass escaped slavery. He became one of the most, if not the most eloquent speaker for abolition of slavery, and continued a very prominent career through much of the rest of the 19th century. Brilliant man. His narrative is certainly one of the great works of American literature. So I encourage you all to read it. But for Douglass, slavery was dehumanizing to the enslaver, the person who kept slaves, who took labor from enslaved people, lost qualities of humanity. And you can see him saying this actually in so many words. He uses the word dehumanize. But he also shows quite clearly that the condition of slavery robbed slaves, or was intended to rob slaves of their humanity, to demean them, to reduce them to something less than human. And this idea is one that will appear again and again as we move through the 19th into the 20th century. It's the case that in genocide after genocide, we see this process of people losing the sense that some other group is fully human, and consequently very, very inhumane acts can be committed against them. So take a look at the various items in the gallery and the exhibit for dehumanization, and we'll be talking about this further.